Part 2 of today's lesson is just a review on writing equations. And so the big key thing is when you see the words write an equation, that tells us right away we're going to use a formula. And the formula goes this way: y minus y1 equals m times by x minus x1. It's called the point slope formula. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our slope and our point and put it into that formula. So it reads this way: y minus y1, well, y1 is this term right here, that negative 3, equals the slope, negative 2/7 times by x minus the x1, which is 14. And then we go ahead and use that distributive property, and any minus negatives change to plus positives. So when I do this, I'm left with a y plus 3 equals negative 2/7 x. Now off to the side, let's rewrite negative 2/7 times by negative 14. Treat that as a fraction, negative 14 over 1. Do the reducing, and we're left with negative 2. Multiply, and that's why it's a positive 4. So oftentimes that sign is the error most people will make. So from there, all we have to do is move this 3 over. That's just a subtraction problem, and we'll have our answer. So there it is. Y equals, and then we got negative 2/7 x plus 1. So we've got our answer. Well, here's another one to try. It's the same sort of problem. We're using the same equation. Difference here, we don't have the fraction as a slope. So I didn't say this was the slope, but that's what that negative 2 represents. And so we'll start off with the y minus y1. Well, 1 is the y1 value here, and equals the slope, which was negative 2, times by x minus negative 3. So the x term for that point goes in for the x1 value. So from that point, all we're going to do is any minus negatives change to plus positives and distribute and see what's left over. So we still have that y minus 1, and it equals negative 2x minus 6. Careful in the sign there. Negative times a positive makes the negative. So we just need to move that 1 over. We're going to do that by adding it to both sides. And then we're left with this y equals negative 2x minus 5. We had to subtract because they were opposite in sign. Well, here's another problem to try. We're going to, this time, use the same formula. Again, it says write an equation. So we're using that point slope formula. The problem is we don't have the slope, so we need another formula. And that formula goes this way. It's the difference of the y values over the difference of the x values. And that will give us our slope. So let's try it. Let's take our y values. 2 and negative 23. Those go on top. 2 minus negative 23. The common mistake is people will forget to write the minus sign and just do 2 minus 23. But it's whatever sign is in front of the term, make sure you bring down with the problem. Then we take our x values. These are the x values, negative 1 and 4. So down below we're going to have negative 1 minus 4. So again, anytime you see those minus negatives, change them to plus positives. Minus positive, change to plus negative. And so we end up with a 25 over negative 5, which just makes negative 5 over 1, or just negative 5. And so that's the slope now. So now we're ready to use that point slope formula. So we'll take one of the points. I'm going to choose this point right here. And we're going to plug in the y value, 2. So y minus 2 equals the slope, negative 5, times by x minus negative 1. So again, whatever x value you have goes in place of x1. And then you're ready to solve. So anytime you get the minus negative, you just change that to plus positive and distribute and see what's left over. So what we've got here is this y minus 2 equals negative 5x minus 5. Minus 5 because negative times a positive makes a negative. So we're ready to do our opposite operation here. We're going to add 2 to both sides. And when we do that, we're left with a y equals, and then we got negative 5x and a minus 3. And there's our answer. So we had to bring down that minus sign. That's a key thing. So anytime you see a sign, bring it down. And opposite signs, remember, you're going to end up subtracting. So So that's how we got the answer. More negatives than positives. That's why it's a minus 3. Well, one more problem to practice like that. We'll find that slope first. Remember, it's the y values, 27 and 12. Those are the numbers that go on top. X values, the 1 and the negative 2, those go on the bottom. And anytime you see a minus negative, quickly change that to plus positive, so you don't make a sign error or just an addition error. So we'll do that subtraction. We're left with 15. And down below we got 3. So that also reduces to a 5. This time it's a positive 5. And then we take one of the points. Let's take this point right here. And so we'll take that negative 2 comma 12. And we'll go ahead and substitute those points into the equation. So y minus 12 equals 5 multiplied by x minus negative 2. Again, you see that minus negative, quickly change that to plus positive, and then distribute. See what we've got left over. So we still have that y minus 12, and it equals now 5x plus 10. So we're ready to solve. The way we're going to solve is just some opposite operations. So that's a minus 12, so we're going to add 12 to both sides. Add 12. And so when we do that, we've got y equals 5x plus 22. And there it is, our answer. So that's a little review on writing equations. Remember, when it says write equation, we're using that point-slope formula. So good luck on tonight's homework.